Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Sage. What is up? So right now we're gonna do a full recap and review of Black Mirror season 5 episodes. The last episode is called Rachel, Jack, and Ashley 2. So I just finished watching it, so I'm gonna share my thoughts while it's still fresh in my brain. Also, spoiler alert: I'm going to completely spoil this thing if you haven't watched it, because I'm gonna talk about it almost every scene. So we're gonna spoil this right now, and then we're gonna talk about the questions it brings up. And then I'm going to wrap this up because that's actually the last episode of the season. So I'm just going to tell you what I thought about Black Mirror season 5 as a whole. All right, so let's start off with this. Here we go. Spoiler alert. All right, you've been warned. All right, so we start off, we meet Rachel, who's in high school. She's a shy, kind of introverted girl. You know, she's new in town. She doesn't have any friends in the school, and she's sitting in a cafeteria just looking at her phone, and she's looking at a video by Ashley O, who is her favorite pop artist. And her father and her sister, they come and pick her up in the Ratmobile, which is this horrible looking car that obviously embarrasses her, but she has to get in it. And Rachel, her sister's name is Jack. She's, the typical goth, rebel, nose piercing, attitude, always pissed off. Stereotypical teenager that's literally in every single movie and show that I've ever seen in my life. Like, literally. It's the same stereotypical little girl. She's pissed off at the world. The father is the weirdo who just, he's like a widow. So he's kind of weird. And, he's into this rat killing business. Probably since his mom died, he's just kind of latching onto that because he's like a lonely dude. But anyway, it's a weird little, dynamic that Rachel has with her family. So anyway, one day Rachel, she's in her room with her sister, and she's looking at an interview of Ashley O, her favorite pop star. And Ashley O is promoting this Ashley 2 doll, which is supposed to be like an AI controlled doll like Alexa, and you talk to it and it'll talk back to you. And it's supposed to have the same personality that the real Ashley has. So it's like bringing home a real Ashley if you buy this doll. So Rachel convinces her father to buy the doll. And obviously he does it, to please his daughter, which was nice. I would have did the same. And the doll is a super positive doll, It's annoying because it asks a lot of questions, but it's like, you can do it. You can achieve your dreams. I can help you get there. Whatever you want to do, you can do. Tell me whatever problems you have. And it's always positive and it's always nice. And of course, for the emo, mean sister, she doesn't like that because she's like, she hates everything and she hates everybody. So she doesn't like the doll. But anyway, the doll actually works out pretty good for Rachel, because it inspires Rachel to enter this dance contest or this talent contest as a dancer, and inspires her to change her look, and she's looking good, and she's got this personality now, and it's all because of the doll. So anyway, she goes to this talent contest, complete fail, falls on her butt, gets embarrassed, starts crying, and now the sister is like, you know what, this doll is dangerous as hell. And the sister hides the doll because she thinks it's a bad influence, because it's encouraging her to believe in stuff that she could never achieve. Typical emo sister. Anyway, let's move on. While all this going on, they're showing in and out scenes of the father who's working in his basement. He's got a little lab going where he's working on mice brain cells, trying to develop some type of a stun gun or some type of weapon that's better than a typical mousetrap. So he's kind of doing that on the side as we're telling the story of Rachel and the doll. So let's cut to the real Ashley. So the real Ashley is a pop star who lives in Malibu somewhere, and she dreams of all her songs, and she wakes up in the morning and she starts writing them. Well, she's kind of outgrown the whole, Hannah Montana thing. So right now she's kind of like an older girl, but she doesn't want to do the same thing that she's been doing her whole life that's got her famous. So she's depressed all the time. So it shows her waking up she has this song in her head, and it's, you know, typical kind of anti-establishment, Leo Cohen or, you know, John Lennon or one of these type of songs that's not a pop song. And the manager, who's the aunt, she hears it, but the manager is only interested in keeping her drugged and keeping her out there making money for, you know, the whole team Ashley, you know, which is the manager and the bodyguard and also the doctor and whoever else they have on their team. So the manager is basically trying to keep her drugged, keep Ashley drugged, but Ashley knows about it, and she's hiding the pills, and she's pretending that she's drugged while she's trying to figure out a way to get out of this contract that she's in with her manager aunt. Anyway, it goes on, and the aunt eventually finds out that Ashley knows that she's being drugged, and the aunt laces Ashley's food with the drugs, which basically puts Ashley in this horrible coma that she can't get out of. Now, while she's in this coma, they want to keep the business going, so the auntie scans her body, and Ashley's still dreaming of songs, so they start stealing the songs through some type of a computer program. They could read the brain waves, and they steal all the songs, and then they make them poppy, you know, they reproduce them so that they can sell records. So this is going on for 6 months. I had to take my puff. All right, so Ashley 2, 6 months go by. Ashley 2 is like on a shelf somewhere, and the Ashley 2 is the doll. So the doll is on the shelf, and she sees on the television that they're doing this mass recall of the Ashley 2 dolls, and they're destroying them. So they show them like they're being destroyed in some conveyor, like some factory. And then she sees the real Ashley's in a coma. So the Ashley 2 doll, she sees this and she freaks out, and she kind of just starts like short circuiting, and then she falls down and she breaks. She falls off the shelf and she breaks. So Jack and Rachel, they take the doll to the father's rat basement, and they try to hack the doll, you know, to bring it back to life. So they connect the doll to the machine, the rat machine, and the rat machine sees that the doll has like a brain scan, because remember it reads the scan, it reads the minds of all the rats. So they hook it up to the doll, and it sees that it's not using all of its capacity as a brain. So what they do is they like short circuit it, and all of a sudden now it liberates this doll, and this doll can think freely just like the real Ashley, and it's not just confined to these little cookie cutter, you know, answers. Now it is real AI is going on, and this doll can really, really, really think. So of course the doll now, because it has the real personality of Ashley, not the fake personality, is cursing up a storm, cursing out the manager, cursing out the situation, saying that it has evidence, and it wants the manager arrested, and F you this and F you that, and just really, really crazy doll. Which I think I like the doll better, because that doll was funny. It really was funny. So there's a lot of stuff going on in this episode. So anyway, the doll convinces Rachel and Jack to take her back to the mansion so she can gather some evidence against the manager. And the doll sees her real self, the real Ashley, you know, in a coma, because for some reason they have the real Ashley in a coma inside the mansion and not in a hospital. I don't know why. And she's by herself with no nurses, nobody around her. So the doll goes and wraps herself around the plug, pulls the plug to kill the real Ashley, because she's like, I know the real Ashley, she'd rather be dead than be in a coma. Instead of killing Ashley, it wakes her up. So now the real Ashley wakes up, the security team or whoever, they come up and they find that she's awake. There's a fight scene between all the little girls and the doctor and all the other bad people. You know, cliche fight scene. The kids end up rescuing Ashley from the mansion. And Ashley's like, I know what she's up to. Take me to the stadium, because the auntie's at some stadium showing off this new hologram that she's made of Ashley. And they're trying to get there before, I guess, she finishes her presentation. So there's an obligatory police car chase that's in every single thing I've ever seen in my life, including Black Mirror. But they have the car chase with the police and Ashley and all the little girls in the car in the Ratmobile. This goes on for a couple of minutes. Then Ashley arrives at the stadium. She opens up the door all dramatically, sees her auntie, flips her off, gives her the finger. The auntie kind of just looks at her, then kind of looks at the camera and says, "Oh, F it." You know, curses. I don't like to curse on YouTube, but she says, "Oh, F it." And then the last scene is just Ashley and Jack. They're in a rock band and they're singing like hard rock songs. So I guess finally Ashley gets to live out her true personality, and now she's friends with Jack because Jack has always been into like emo rock, stuff all her whole life, I guess. So they become friends, and that's the end of the story. All right. Let's bring up the questions, and I'm just gonna wrap this whole thing up, this whole series as a whole. So obviously, the questions. Okay, obviously Miley Cyrus, who played Ashley, used to be Hannah Montana, and Ashley is structured exactly like Hannah Montana was, with the wig and the same type of pop songs. So there's an obvious comparison there. I don't know if that was it was obvious. It's not an accident. So the whole question they're trying to bring up is this fake image that these celebrities have to have for fans, even though they don't want to do it. And then there's a whole conspiracy theory about how these entertainers are drugged by their managers all the time. That's why most of them die from overdoses. So I don't know if I believe that, but it's, there are a lot of pop stars who die. Michael Jackson, Prince, I mean, you name it, they all die from drug overdoses. And it could be because their managers are trying to push them too hard to keep performing and lacing them with drugs, and then eventually they die from it. So who knows? I don't believe it, but maybe that's the message they're trying to bring out in the show. And then the other one is the Alexa, Siri type doll. So there's going to be some AI improvements, I'm sure, in the future where you can have these full conversations with these AI like Alexa or Siri. Or they might even put it in a doll like they did with Ashley too, and it would mimic a real person. And you can, instead of having real friends, you can just sit there and have a full-on conversation and talk to this doll. So I'm sure that's coming in the future. The technology should be here pretty soon. They just got to tweak the AI a little bit. And the other thing was holograms. Are holograms ethical? I mean, dead people are being milked by their family for money with these holograms already today. So what they do with these holograms, they take a dead person, they make a scan of their images, or they somehow they get all their images together, and then they map those images onto an actor, and then the actor pretends to be that person on stage, but when you look at it, it's mapped with the image of the dead person. They've already have concerts, like concert tours with Roy Orbison, who died, I think, in the 90s, Buddy Holly, who died in the 50s. We've seen Tupac at Coachella. We've seen Eazy-E at Coachella. Now they got a concert tour where they're bringing out Whitney Houston. These all are dead celebrities who have holograms made of their images, and I don't know if it's ethical or not. So besides that stuff, that was like the technological stuff. There was nothing really realistic about this, or on the technological side that you could discuss. It was kind of a typical sci-fi type show with all the typical cliche things like the emo sister and the car chase and the manager who's being the pop star was being drugged against her will, and everything was like typical. Like I could basically look at this and I could predict what was going to happen in the next scene. Even the dialogue, I was predicting what they were going to say. It was very typical. The acting wasn't that strong. It was just a weak. I'm going to tell you, man, this entire season 5 is only 3 episodes. That's weak already. I don't know why it was only 3 episodes, because if you're going to have 3 episodes, you got to come strong, man. You got to be hard. You can't be coming up with this BS. And the first episode was like the gay episode, which was weird. It was cringy. It was like uncomfortable to watch. Not because they were gay, but because it just wasn't bad. It was just weird, like poorly written. Because San Juniper which was, I think was season 3, was about 2 gay people, and that was a great episode. So it has nothing to do with their sexual orientation. It was just written in a weird, uncomfortable way where no matter what your sexual orientation, if you watch this thing, you wouldn't enjoy it. It was just really weird. And then you had the second one, which was like, what was that? It was like a car chase, and it just wasn't that good, man. It wasn't that good. I gave my review of it. It was just a lot going on, but there was nothing going on. It's like I talked for 15 minutes straight, but I really wasn't. It was only like a paragraph of material, but there was so many like distractions and stuff going on in the episode that it just kept you like going one. But in the end, it was like really just about texting and driving. It was just all these bad like hostage negotiations and this guy's an intern and now he's not. But it was just all about the same thing. Don't text and drive. That was the whole synopsis of the whole episode, and it was just weird. And then this one was just, it's just a weird episode, man. It really didn't really bring up the questions that Black Mirror typically does. You know, it was like I said, like a sci-fi, story that you see on the Sci-Fi Channel. But nothing that I would expect from Black Mirror. So as a whole, man, I just wasn't too thrilled with season 5 of Black Mirror. It kind of was a letdown, to be honest. I wish they had more episodes, and I just wish they had stronger episodes and stronger stories. And, these writers, man, they need help. We get these writers, they come up with these great ideas, but then they write it down all by themselves. They need a team of writers to fill in the blanks and to see things that they can't see. It's like when you're at your job, you write a report, you proofread it, you look over it, everything looks good, it looks grammatically correct, and then somebody else looks at it and they point out all the errors to you that they saw. And you don't see those errors until they see them. And this is how these writers need to approach these shows. They're getting paid millions of dollars and they're giving us crap. It's because it's in their brain and they don't see all the errors and mistakes and the contradictions and all the other stuff Game of Thrones, Star Wars, what's the other one? Star Trek. All those franchises have been destroyed by sloppy writing lately. And I don't know, man. They really need to bring back like the magic that they once had with this stuff, because I'm not a fan. And it's a disappointment, man. Anyway, I'm gonna end at that, and I'll be thinking about my next video for next week. But I wanted to get through all these Black Mirrors this week. So I know, I think I'm getting like 1 or 2 views each. I know no one likes these videos, but I just got to get it off my chest, and that's why I'm doing it. So I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.